So today in the video, we're gonna be speaking about the recession, right? That could be looming in the housing market. We're seeing some changes as far as the production world, right? Entry homes, that market where you step up. So clients that have a first home, they're going to their second home or that semi-custom, how interest rates are affecting that. So we're gonna be speaking about what that means and the right time for you if you're thinking about building your next project. So many of us are familiar with the housing crash that happened, 2008, 9, 10, especially as a builder. I was 3-4 years out of college living through this recession, and it was a tough time, right? It was a really tough time for a lot of builders that were in the construction world with the housing crisis on a national level. But what's interesting is there was still work happening in 2009, 10, and 11. In fact, as I look back, a lot of the data analysis we do as builders and look at historical data and cost to where it was, maybe for lumber or steel or tile, even labor, what we're paying for install rates in 2011 to now, right? It's a huge difference on building costs. The reason being is there were a lot of investors, savvy clients at the time that were coming in and they were purchasing property, distressed property, maybe a property that had been started, not finished, or they were buying land. And so it was, for those that were in a financial position to build at that time or acquire land, it was phenomenal. They were getting some of the most, the best rates. They were getting some of the best labor numbers, material numbers, right? And they had access, right? Homes were being built a lot quicker in 2011, 12, and 13, especially as we started climbing out of the recession. And so we saw that homes were being built quicker. They were being built for less cost. And what's really difficult is in a market where everybody's selling or everyone, we're seeing the slowdown. A lot of the clients out there that are in a position, this is the best time to build, right? You think about, well, I don't know where the market's going. I see interest rates changing. And although we're still on the brink of this, right, in the custom world, especially on a national level, there's a lot of backlog. There's still a lot of building happening. You can see this project we're standing on, this is up and running. And so there's still a lot of movement. However, next year in 2023, that could be changing, right? And as we're monitoring, our peers and on a national level and checking markets, we're seeing that interest rates do have a big impact, right, on people that can come in and finance a house and purchase a house and change purchasing power. And what that'll help is that we've lived in this last 3 years, we've had this housing boom, right? We've had a ton of construction, a huge demand, short supply, lack of material. And it's really created these funnels in the building industry that's made it really hard to finish homes in a timely manner. It's really made it difficult to have enough people on site, to have good labor numbers, right? Because our subcontractors and trade partners have been able to be more selective. And that's not just for us, that's for all of our partners here in Phoenix as well as throughout the country. But what's interesting is now we're gonna see that soften. Although the custom world is still fairly busy right now and looks to be so for the next 12 to 24 months, as the production market slows, and we'll see what happens with the commercial world, but as these things change, it's gonna allow, more supply. It's gonna allow a little bit of a break on the labor force. And so a lot of our clients, we're tracking the numbers. Where are we going with inflation? Where are we going with cost to build? And we're gonna see that as these things come down, that it's gonna be, we have clients on the back burner that we're gonna call them and say, hey, this is the best time, strike while the iron's hot, it's gonna be the best time to build. So think about that. If you're in a financial position, you may wanna consider this. Keeping in mind schedule, right? If you were to start today and you don't have any design done and you're like, hey, I'm ready, we're ready to hit the ground running, at least in Phoenix, on a custom home, on a scatter lot, you're typically, to start today, about 12 months to have permit in hand. Now that can vary. You may be able to get it in 8 months if you're quick on design and engineering and consulting and through permit. Could be upwards of still 16 months on size of home. But typically on average, most of our clients spend about 12 months in design. And then you have the build. So even if you were to start today, you're 12 months until permit. And with City of Phoenix and Scottsdale, when the permit's released, you typically have 6 months, or you can do a permit extension for a year. So you have a 2-year window there essentially that you can work through design, track the market, and as numbers are changing and you're consulting with your builder or your design team, it may be the best time for you to break ground and build that dream home that you've been waiting to do. And again, ideally, with that break in labor, that it could be built a little quicker than it has been for the last few years.